your view, her view. What's up, gamers? Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Play series. And we've been busy. We're starting off with a time lapse. You love to see it, love to see it. And I have been even busier since the last bit of that time lapse. And I have been working on the entrance to and some of the decorations of the amethyst geodes that we saw in the last episode. I thought what I would do is I'd bring an amethyst geode up to the surface and have that as the entrance down into the actual geodes. And what I thought I'd try and do is have like a chunk that's been like broken off and fallen down the cliff, which I think looks really, really cool, actually. I think it works quite well. I think I need to do a little bit more work just to tie in the backside to the cliff, but the front side's looking pretty cool. I'm quite happy with that. And I've actually done a little bit more work down into it. You can see we got some nice purple particle effects, which if you're wondering, ender chests under carpet, very nice, very nice. We got the purple candles, we got all the amethyst thingies on the walls and floors and all that kind of stuff. And then we've got a nice entrance down. And this is looking really cool. I love this effect as you drop on in. And then we got the room, which is looking ever so magical with the glow squid that spawn in here. Now, when I designed this, I actually had no idea that the glow squid would actually spawn in here, but I'm so glad they do. They add like quite a bit of ambiance to the room, and I actually quite like it. It looks rather magical. So what my idea here is that I can just kind of float around, collect the things, and they float to the surface, and it's all nice and easy. We got black concrete on the walls to kind of make it feel like you're just in this void where the amethyst is just floating there. And I think this works really, really well. I think I saw, it might have been a Zoomer do this on Hermitcraft. I don't quite remember. But yeah, I really, really like this. And I have started to do that on the other ones that we have as well. And as you can see, we've got a hallway sorted between them. But this will actually all be covered in water when we get there. So what I want to have happen is the water level to be kind of up here somewhere, and you actually swim between them. And then what I'll do is I'll have conduits in each of the geodes so that we don't drown. And I'm actually thinking maybe dolphins in the walls or wherever we need to put them, so that we get the dolphins grace, so we can kind of zoom our way down the tunnels. I think that would be really, really cool. And I won't go down into each of these, but essentially I've dug them all out. I've placed the black concrete powder, because obviously that'll turn into the concrete when water touches it. And they're all ready to go. I just need ice. Because, well, I could use buckets, I suppose, but ice is a little bit more friendly. You can kind of place a lot of it down. Where are we? And I need another thing. For the conduits, I actually need nautilus shells. So I've got a bunch of hearts of the sea, but I've only got like 2 or 3 nautilus shells. So I think what I might do is build a farm for it. I think I'm going to build a drowned farm so that we can get the nautilus shells needed to complete the conduits. So I guess let's do that now. Well, we have built this absolute monstrosity of a farm. If you can call it a farm. To be honest, I like to call it an arena because this thing is just wild. So the design for this is by ianxofour, who in my estimation is quickly becoming the go-to channel if you want like a really easy to build, overpowered farm. And this is really cool. So what you do is you can walk along here, this platform, and the drowned actually can't track you when you're here. So they'll just kind of slide on down like a slideshow almost, until you hop in the water. What I might do is I might just put my chest plate on because these guys hit quite hard. And then you get your night vision, you get your water breathing, and you come in and you just start whacking some mobs. And for me, this is really fun. Ooh, that guy actually dropped his trident. Heck yeah. So what you can do is you can either do this, just swim around, see if you can find the guys holding the Nautilus shells, just like this. These guys have a 100% drop rate for their Nautilus shells, so it's quite nice. And you also get a little bit of copper sometimes too. So you can either just swim around and have them follow you, and then get what items you're looking for now, either the Nautilus shells or the tridents. Or you can do as he intended, and you can just walk along here, kind of watch the slideshow of mobs. And if you walk further enough down, the ones down that end will despawn, and then you can wander back. And yeah, it's a good time. I actually really like this farm. And it's been actually pretty dang efficient, and I've actually got more or less what I need. Oh, is that another guy? No, that's Trident. I don't need more Tridents. I've got Tridents galore at the moment. But down here, am I going to get mobs spawning around me? No, I did plant some torches. Good. I have enough Nautilus shells, and I've got just a ton of tridents. I've got 9 spare tridents now, but I've got enough Nautilus shells now to make the 4 conduits that I want for the amethyst farm. So yeah, I think we're good to go. I don't know how often I'm going to come over here, but it's a lot of fun. It actually kind of reminds me of, did anyone play Final Fantasy X? Kind of reminds me of Blitzball. Like, especially if you're using your Riptide Trident, you can just be like, pa-doom, pa-doom. And yeah, it's kind of fun. I kind of really like it. This is a better farm design to me than just having one that brings all the mobs to you and you just stand there swinging the sword. This is kind of interactive. It's fun. It's a bit of a game, bit of a challenge, and just, yeah, all around quite a good time. But anyway, what I need to go do now, rather than just fighting mobs in my underwater PvP arena, is I need to go build an ice farm, so we can finish building our amethyst farm. So let's go do that. Hey, did I tell you guys that I have the world's largest beetroot field? Because I do. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it, that I've got this gigantic beetroot field. I just did a little bit in my spare time a couple episodes back. No big deal. But just over here, I actually have already gone ahead and built the ice farm. This is quite a cool design, and I'm a little bit in love with it. This is actually right on the edge of where I pruned the chunks for the 118 or 119 up. Wait, where are we? On the one of the previous updates, which changed world generation. And that's why you've got this quite straight line where it's like cold and then normal biome, and you got like trees that are only half covered with snow. It's a bit of a mess, but I kind of love it. And what I might actually do later on, if I'm feeling frisky, is I might just go through and maybe blend this a little better in some spots, so it's not just a kind of a straight line of cold to temperate. Is this temperate? Temperate. I'm gonna go with temperate. Any hoozle, we have an ice farm, and this ice farm is pretty stinking cool. So you might notice a very obvious thing, which is that we have this diagonal line from corner to corner, and that's very intentional because when you've got a corner like this, when you go to bust out the ice, it all reforms into infinite water, like they all become water sources. And it's the same if you bring it out a little bit further, they all become water sources. And the way you get these to not turn into ice is you've got to have something above them. And you might think, what the heck, what do you have above them? And you might have caught a glimpse of it before, right around... Nope, where is it? There it is. Like 3 or 4 blocks above this, I have a glass pane above them. And the glass pane does the same as like a solid block in that it stops it from becoming water sources. But the handy thing with the glass panes and the resource pack I use is that you can't really see them unless you kind of get right up to them and start putting your mouse over them. So this looks like really clean, like you can't actually see anything above it. And if I was being really clever, what I could have done was actually put them like way further up into the sky so that like you couldn't jump into them and hit them or anything like that. But this is really cool. So you just kind of come in here. What I like to do is I start where it's so that the water kind of doesn't leak through, and I just do a bit of this, and then I'll get through and I'll kind of clear it and let all the water sources do their things. And this thing's actually reasonably fast, so if I do all 9 of these squares, I get just shy of a shulker box. So you've got, just under 3 stacks there, and if you times that out, you get just shy of kind of 27, which is a shulker box, which is pretty dang cool. And I thought this would also be a good place to put my cauldron so that we can gather some powdered snow. And as you can see, we've been out here a bit and we've actually gathered quite a bit. So that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. So what I might do is I might gather up a bunch of ice, and then we can use that actually to finish off the amethyst farm. We can kind of fill it up with water and finish off the design over there. But I have other plans for this episode. Other plans, very sneaky. So what I want to do is actually make the first steps of the next big project. And that requires me to kill the Ender Dragon, like 20 times. And you might be wondering, why do I need to kill the Ender Dragon 20 times? Well, I actually want to get all of the little portals activated out in the end, and I want to be able to mine just a bunch of obsidian without it returning, because you might know that if you mine any of the obsidian pillars and then you respawn the Ender Dragon, that it actually re-puts up the obsidian pillars, and I don't want that. I don't want that at all. But what we need to do for that is we need a bunch of end crystals. And how do you get end crystals, you might ask? Well, you need ghast hairs as the main big one that's kind of tricky to get. The rest of it's pretty easy. I think it's like glass and maybe something else. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. Actually, let me have a look. End crystals. What do you need? End crystals. Eyes of Ender. Okay, so you need Ender pearls and blaze rods as well. But ghast hairs is the tricky one. Ghast hairs is the tricky one because they're kind of hard to get if you're just flying around the end. So you might actually remember in the last episode, I had a little teaser for you guys that I'd used the wither roses in another farm. And yes, that is the ghast farm. So let's go have a look at that right friggin' now. Okay, just coming through the end portal, and if we go directly, I think it's north. Yes, north. We've got our ghast farm looking absolutely beautiful. And this used, I think it was like 96 ghast tiers or something. I think there's like 36 per level. Let me just show you how this works. So we've got a wee spawning platform and we're up above the nether, so the only things that can spawn are kind of up here. And then ghasts are actually able to spawn on magma, but their hitboxes are so big that wherever they spawn on here, they are touching wither rows, which immediately kills them. Well, not immediately. It takes a little bit. It's not quite as painless and quick as I'd like it to be. Rip ghasts. I didn't mean to. And what happens is that these carts will whip under. They'll pick up all the mob loot and they come and drop it off down here. Very nice. Very nice. And I've AFK'd this, I think, overnight once. It's not the fastest ghast farm I've ever seen, but it's done pretty dang well. We got like, what, a double chest and a half, and I don't even know how many ghast tiers that is, but it's quite a bit. And it actually gives us gunpowder as well, which I entirely forgot about until I built it, which means we don't really need a mob farm anymore. You might remember I tore that sucker down, but we've got gunpowder here. There's other ways to get bones for bone meal, and there's nothing else you really need from a general mob farm. So we might actually not need one, but we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. But I've actually done a lot of talk in this episode and a lot of farm building. So let's just go do something fun, and let's go make the Ender Dragon my bitch. Well, I think we have officially made the Ender Dragon our I think we killed her 15 times, so I've got like 5 left to do. But I actually had a thought while I was going about doing my thing, and I have an idea about what I want to do for the last 5 kills, but I don't think I'm quite gonna have the chance to do it or the time in this episode. So we're going to save it for next episode, the final 5 kills. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a sneaky peek about what we're going to do. So I've kind of already set up the idea. And what I want to do is I want to kind of make a randomizer so that I will be fighting the Ender Dragon with just a random assortment of items. So I'll have like a random armor type, random weapon type, random melee weapon and projectile, a special item, and even a different kind of food source. So this should all kind of like mix up what the fight's going to be like, because at this stage the dragon fight is pretty dang easy. It takes me like 10 minutes. I just fly around and I kind of just shoot her, and then I go down and I smack the bottom, and all is pretty over pretty quickly, to be honest. It doesn't take long at all. So we're gonna have a bit of fun with that next episode, I think, maybe to start us off. But if you have any ideas about how I could make this idea even cooler, let me know, and I may even live stream this, or I will make like a long form video where you get to see all of it rather than just kind of the highlights. So let me know if you'd be down for either of those, and we'll see if we can get that done. The other thing you might have noticed in the clips is that I found a really good way to get dragon's breath, and there's actually like quite a bit here. I managed to fill up an entire shulker box, and what I found out was that when the dragon lands in the middle of the island and she blows the breath. She blows you. She blows her breath on the ground, and right in the center where you can like kind of hit her with the sword and you can't get her with the arrows, is if you spam bottles on that, you can get like 1 or 2 stacks just from like spamming the right click button, and it actually goes really quick. It's kind of wild. So I managed to get these like really fast. And do I know what I'm gonna do with them? No. But I want them. Resource hoarding Michael, back in action. So I think what we should do for the rest of this episode is we're going to finish off our amethyst farm and maybe put those conduits to use. So I'll meet you over at the amethyst farm. Boop. Okie pokey, we are back at the amethyst farm, and dang, I gotta say this is actually looking pretty cool. I kind of like this. I think we did a pretty good job at kind of emulating a geode here. I think we did really well. And I've actually got the conduits over here. This is some leftover ice from all the grindage. And I am actually finished placing all the frickin' water and decorating all the frickin' rooms. It is all done. So I think we've seen this one before, looking mighty fine. We've got the glow squid doing glow squiddy things. And now what we have is a full... the full shebang. We've got water all the way down here. And I'm not actually going to go all the way down and show you because currently it's a little bit of a death trap. Without the conduit power, I can't breathe underwater, and there are absolutely no air pockets down there. So what we can do is I can take you down with the free cam because that's a little bit safer for me. So this is actually looking pretty cool. You can swim down here, you can come around here, and we got the one room all sorted. And if we come up here, round the corner again, down here, we got another room, very nice. And then over here, the last room, all fully ready to harvest, mostly, and looking pretty cool. But I have made a very fatal error in my magnificent and perfect judgment. You need prismarine for conduits. Otherwise they don't really work. I hadn't really thought about that. And if we head over to my storage system, we're a little low on prismarine. I haven't actually gone and conquered an ocean monument yet, and as such, I don't have the materials I need to get the conduits working. So I think next episode, we're definitely out of time this episode for me to just go and conquer an ocean monument and get a bunch of prismarine. But from the start, we've actually had an ocean monument pretty close to home. If I remember correctly, here, just offshore. So I think, it's actually quite nicely in line with my lighthouse as well. Very nice, very nice. So I think next episode, let's conquer an ocean monument, eh? Let's make a freaking guardian farm. That's a 1 episode project, right? That should be fairly straightforward. Oh, poos. Now I've got mining fatigue. Is it mining fatigue? I'm coming for you guys next frickin' episode. But anyway, I'm about to die. That is going to do it for me, gamers. I have had a lot of fun this episode. We've made a lot of progress. We made a lot of farms. Did a lot of things. We started a couple projects and we almost finished them. And in the next episode, let's finish them, eh? Let's finish some projects. Let's have some fun with the dragon. Let's go let's go and conquer. Let's go and conquer the ocean monument and set up those conduits in the amethyst farm and finally be done with that project. It sounds like a lot of fun and I'm quite excited for that. So, thanks so much for watching. Leave a like, comment a thing, tell me I'm pretty because, well, I think you're quite pretty. And I will catch you on the next one. Bye!